Well, welcome back into the Morning Loop. Life hasn't always been easy for Tyler native Verlinda Stanton, despite being one of North and East Texas's entertainment beacons for over 4 decades now. She has overcome several obstacles in her life, including being diagnosed with HIV/AIDS nearly 30 years ago. Now, through all her joys and pains, Stanton became an advocate for HIV/AIDS and formed the nonprofit Overcomers for Life. And here to talk about their mission is Verlinda Stanton herself. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Well, thank you for having me. I am so excited, and you know, God has just really been good.
Man, hasn't he?
Yes.
Say that again. Now, I admire you so much, and every day I'm inspired to especially the day I met you, because you've been so open about your journey. With a lot of people aren't open about their journey, especially when it comes to HIV and AIDS. So tell me why you decided to be so open and help people in the community.
Well, I was diagnosed back in 1994, so 29 years ago. And during that time, and even still now, but especially during that time, people weren't accepting, you know, others who were diagnosed. You know, it was like a death sentence. It was, you know, a lot of ridicule. You know, people just didn't get it treated fairly. So when I was diagnosed, I was like, you know, I was already a public figure in the public's eye, doing my thing. And I'm like, I'm not going to reveal anything. I'm just going to keep on living and keep on moving forward, because I didn't want to put myself in a position, you know, to be ridiculed by anyone. And so for 29 years, this is a burden really that I've carried along my journey, even though I kept, you know, being successful, and God kept opening doors for me and placing me on different platforms to speak. And I found myself speaking about HIV and AIDS, but never really revealing my status. And I wrestled back and forth with God, and he was like, I keep placing you on these platforms and opening these doors for you, and I need you to be totally transparent. And you know, I'm a faith walker and a faith believer, so as I went on my journey, I'm like, okay, I surrendered unto him. And I'm like, there are a lot of people out there that really need to hear my story. I started working with Legacy Cares out of Dallas and got invited to speak at their women's conference for women living with HIV and AIDS. And we had separate support groups, so they had appointed me a leader for a group. And when I started listening at other women's stories, it was like, okay, I gotta really be transparent. And I saw that life wasn't as bad as we think it could be. And I'm like, my story can give these girls and women hope. And so I decided to be open, to stand strong in my faith, and just to be open and share my story, to say, hey, look at me. I don't look like what I've been through.
No, you
I've
don't.
been through molestation, domestic violence. You know, I've been through being raped and going through mental health and all of this, and then getting diagnosed with HIV. That's a lot for one person to handle and go through. But through my journey, God has kept me, and I just kept pushing and pressing my way forward. So I felt my story needed to be told. And starting this foundation, there are a lot of different groups out there, HIV.gov, and then there's a lot of other local groups that are supportive, but we need to know, we need to have the resources. Like, there was a lot of things I didn't know. I didn't have a support group. I went to a doctor. The doctor didn't refer me to a counselor, didn't refer me to a support group. So I didn't even read up on HIV. When I was diagnosed, I was diagnosed. I said, okay, that's the diagnosis that you gave me, but I'm going to believe the report of the Lord, and I'm just going to keep on living, because number one, I have a daughter. Number two, I have a mission that God has placed me on. So I just kept tunnel vision, and I stayed focused on my career and what I'm doing. But I formed this to more so promote health and wellness, and not for just people with HIV and AIDS. So this organization doesn't just strict you to the boundaries of HIV and AIDS, but for people dealing with mental health and other life-threatening diagnoses, and just to educate them and point them in the right directions, because in different areas you may be limited to your resources. And so it's for my organization to help the women gain hope, want to have a sense of life,
Right, which is super important.
and to be able to continue to live a happy, fulfilled life while going through your diagnosis. And then one of the main important things is, how do I talk to my family or share this with my family? Because I've learned a lot of women have not shared with their children. You know, with their spouses they have, but with their children they have not shared because they don't know how to. So I want to be that person, that company, that organization that can help those deal with, number one, not really accepting what was given to you, because I haven't accepted it. I just know this is what I was diagnosed, because I believe life and death is in the power of the tongue, and whatever you speak, you shall have.
Come on.
And so I took the report of the doctors that you said this is what I was diagnosed with, but I know that I am healed.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
tell me really quick, how can people get in contact with you, especially with this new profit being in this community? How can they get in contact with you and join this nonprofit?
Yes, Overcomers for Life will be overcomersforlife.org. Website is currently under construction. Just started 2 days ago with the website, overcomersforlife.org. The email is info@overcomersforlife.org.
Okay.
The phone number is 469-553-5533. I have to try to remember that.
And we'll put this all on the web.
You'll put it on the website, but I just want to make sure that I have here it is, the correct phone number.
She got all her notes.
Yes.
She prepared.
469-552-5533. If you want to make any donations, if you want to know how you can become a part of the volunteer and helping in the organization, you can reach me on that number again.
Well, thank you so much, Verlinda. And again, we'll have all this information over on our website, cbs19.tv. Channel